Hello and good evening. This is Jurri Schenck of the Legends of the Wind podcast. I'm so happy for you to be here with us tonight and enjoy this show. I just got to meet my guest a few minutes ago, and her name is Sonia Collins, and I'm so honored that she requested a prophetic story from Legends of the Wind. It's exciting. Just so everybody knows, I don't know her. I've never met her before. I've not researched her. I've not interviewed her. And so that's what I do here is take a huge risk and write a prophetic story blind for someone that I want to encourage and empower with. Now I have a question for you. So have you ever tried to tell the truth to somebody, the truth about God, and they don't respond very well at all? Why is that? It's the truth, isn't it? But let's say you try to tell someone about their identity in Christ, like you are a royal son or you are a royal daughter, and there's this block in their thinking and in their mind that they don't want to receive it. But it's the truth, right? So I've learned in the process of prophetic story, there's a thing called substance abuse. It's not drugs, it's not anything like that, but it has to do with substance, and this is substance. And when you try to force someone to believe something that is God's truth, it's substance abuse. They're not ready to receive it. And so that kind of direct imposing, even controlling method is not a very effective way to help them, obviously, right? So what do you do? How do you approach this? What is the method to create a transformation? How do you have the aha moment? Well, I've learned that with storytelling and indirect language, or what we call expressive language, it's the arts. It's kind of like instead of like telling it directly, you hide the treasure in the shadow of the story. The only time an artist is ever mentioned in the Bible is Bezalel, and his name means in the shadow of God. Now, we know the Bible, and we know that the Bible has three shadows it mentions. It has the shadow of death, the shadow of God with Bezalel, and then Peter's shadow. And so what is a shadow? It's a dark saying. It's a parabolic language. It's where the word parable comes from, a shadow language. Is shadow dark? Is that evil? No. It means that it's hidden. It means that it's a representation of the substance. So imagine that my hand, which is substance, is the truth, right? But you shine a light down on a table and my shadow appears. And the idea is that you tell your story or your art form in a shadow, an expressive representation of the truth, so that they can go and find it themselves and meet Holy Spirit to have an aha moment. That's when you get transformation. That's when they discover, not by you directly telling them, but by revelation from Holy Spirit, that they capture the truth themselves. So it's instead of it being an opinion, even though it's the truth, it's an owned revelation, and then they can grab a hold of it. That's another method of talking about stories versus direct communication. So here at Legends of the Wind, we tell prophetic stories. They are meant to be understood like symbols and like dream language, like they're meant to be stood symbolically, not literally. So I want to lay that foundation to you for you who are new and that are learning about us for the first time. Now, I'm super excited about tonight's show. I wrote the story last night. I actually was wanting to write it Saturday, and God gave me the title, but he told me to sit on it, and I wrote it late last night. And my guest is Sonia Collins, and her story is titled The Ballroom. So I'm going to bring Sonia on right now, and I would love for you to meet her as well. Sonia, hello.
Hello.
How are
I'm so
you?
glad to be here.
Very good, very good. Well, welcome to the show. Thank you for being my guest tonight. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about who you are?
Well, I am Sonia Collins. I am a mom of three young adults, and I am a daughter of the king. I'm
Yes.
live in the state of Alabama.
Wonderful. Great. How did you find out about us and what motivated you to get a prophetic story?
I On Wednesday nights I attend like a ministry night at King's Table with Kendra, and
Mm-hmm.
you were her and I was just blown away by the ministry, the story that you read, and I just signed up, and I wanted to be here, and I'm so glad I did.
Well, thank you. That's great. Yeah, Kendra was kind enough to invite me on. I think it was the end of May. And fortunately, when we gave the love bomb, is what she called it, the people can sign up for free to get a story. It was a good response. So that was a real treat. So thank you very much for seeing what we do. Thank you. Great. So I want to talk to you, Sonia, about how to receive a prophetic story, and also so that the audience understands as well. So, as I mentioned a moment ago, your prophetic story is meant to be understood symbolically, not literally. There may be things that feel realistic about it, but even so, there are certain symbols and ideas and concepts and things in it that would be meaningful to you. And also, you're going to identify things that I wouldn't know. I got the download, but it's a revelation. And that's what this story is. It's a revelation that needs an interpretation. And then we find the application afterward, like what is God saying for you to do, what action you need to take. And so I also want you to understand that you have power and a choice in this experience. You can say, yes, I receive this prophetic story. Or, no, I do not receive this. Or you may go, I need some time to process this, to chew on it. So I will be emailing you the PDF after the show, and you can watch the replay and reread your story, and there'll be more things God could show you. Does this all make sense?
Yes, it does.
Wonderful. Very good. Well, I'm so happy. Thank you. And we'd love for you to sit back and relax as we go through the story. But by the way, Sonia, do you happen to know what time it is?
It's story time.
Yes, very good. Awesome. All right, here we go. The ballroom. The lights flickered on and off in the bathroom as Sonia sat with the lid shut, thinking about what she'd do next. Her dress was torn, and the zipper on her back was stuck again. Sonia dreaded wearing this outfit, and now she had to decide whether to present herself to the crowd again. This evening was a blind date with a man whom her friends set her up with. But it was more than that. It was a surprise. Sonia was the author of a book, her first book, and her publisher was about to release it to the world. Her friends knew how hard she had worked on it and the passion of her heart that she poured into it. It was a narrative that echoed her desires and the journey she had gone on all over the world. Sonia, however, is not one for the limelight. She is a bit shy and out of her element in most social settings, but the book was something all her friends wanted to celebrate about her. Sonia felt hesitant about this, but the situation trapped her in between a rock and a hard place. Adding to that was a man who was interested in her, but she was not interested in him. This man worked in finance and played all the cards right, making good money and having a stable future. But he failed to show empathy to her when she tore her dress on a corner of a buffet table. There was a loop of fabric that she snagged, and the tear was easily 8 inches up her thigh. Instead of feeling sorry for her and her dress, the man was admiring her legs. Sonia immediately turned him off and ran to the bathroom because she feared many things. To add insult to injury, the master of ceremonies announced Sonia as the author of her new book, and she was nowhere to be found. Sonia heard the crowd burst into applause over the whole matter. Sonia realized she could not adjust the zipper, but at least the dress would not go anywhere. The tear was something she could manage in the end, and it changed only the look. But it wasn't unflattering. All the party needed was the surprising shining star. Outside the door was a whole new world to Sonia. Would she allow others to celebrate her? Would she give herself permission to overcome all her vulnerabilities and shine? Sonia also told herself that others can glow, but she preferred to hide. That circumstance now changed. Inside the hot, stuffy bathroom, Sonia took a deep breath and exhaled as she turned the knob to the door. As she opened it, the cool air of the ballroom met her face as a refreshing breeze. Her blind date was waiting at the corner of the hallway of the bathrooms to see Sonia when she was ready to come out. Sonia met the man and apologized for her delay. The man was immediately sympathetic and said, "No, no, I'm the one who should say sorry. You caught me off guard when you tore your dress. Well, let me say you're an attractive woman, and I'm merely a normal man." This comment made both of them blush. Sonia replied, "Thank you. I appreciate your honesty, but I guess I have to face the music. Will you take me to the stage?" The man held out his elbow, and Sonia embraced the moment. The blind date escorted her through the tables and chairs and accessed the dance floor and headed toward the steps to the stage. As they went, the people recognized her and whispered, pointing, and cheered. Sonia was flushed with embarrassment. She realized her chest and back turned red, but no one really could notice because of this lighting. The man let Sonia ascend the steps and then let her go. The author met the MC and took the microphone. As she looked out at the crowd, she held her hand up to her eyes to see better. The crowd went wild, but she asked them to let her speak. The quiet of the audience startled Sonia even more. Her heart raced, and she composed herself as she put the microphone to her mouth. I've been on a long journey all over the world. I've seen many amazing things, some heartbreaking, others were breathtaking. I didn't know I wanted to write this book. All of it seemed to just pour out of me over journaling during my morning coffee. Someone in the crowd cheered Sonia on. "We love the book." "Thank you. I'd rather not be here tonight because I prefer to be behind the scenes, but you all have supported my work so much. I don't know where to begin. My publisher has released my book and it is out for all of you to read." Sonia sighed and continued, "There's so much you don't know about my thought processes and how I came to organize my adventures. I didn't even know who would really like what I had to say. Yet you all know me well enough. There is a story to tell. Thank you for your support. Good night." The crowd applauded as Sonia did a quick bow and left the stage. Her date found her and brought Sonia to a table of her closest friends, all waiting for her. The next series of events seemed to be a blur for Sonia. All of her supporters asked about various parts of her adventures and recollected the times they had joined her on them. Sonia saw that her friends knew her better than she originally thought. They cared about every detail, and they marveled at the precise explanations in Sonia's narrative. Sonia's date was quiet for most of the time. He observed her eyes and how she responded to many questions they peppered her with. Her feelings of being overwhelmed died down, and she relaxed. Eventually, the subject changed from Sonia and her book to those around the table with their crazy mishaps. The discussion was loud, and the music turned on again, and the people went to dance. The energy changed to a more intense beat. Sonia's date asked if she wanted to dance, but she declined, stating her damaged dress. The man acknowledged, and he waited. After several songs, Sonia's energy died down, and she was tired. The next song was a slow dance, and her date approached her gently and said, "If you would be so kind, Sonia, but this is our first date together, and I would feel let down if we didn't do at least one dance. The music right now is more at your energy level. Will you take this dance?" The man stood and held out his hand. Sonia looked up at the man and came to her senses, realizing that he was not a bad guy at all. He had been patient and courteous. Sure, there had been mishaps and blunders, but they were not his fault. He truly cared. "I think I shall," replied Sonia. They went to the dance floor and held each other. Sonia felt the man's embrace and knew she was safe in his arms. They swayed from side to side and made their way around the floor. The man cleared his throat. "You know, Sonia, one of your friends gave me an advance copy of your book. I've already read the whole thing. It's Well, what you wrote changed my life. You have been through so much and seen so many things. I'm honored to know you. Sonia looked up at the man, and her eyes glistened in the light. She replied, You read the entire book? The man nodded. Thank you, continued Sonia. I have an idea, said the man. I think you have more experiences to share than what's in the book. In fact, I noticed that sometimes you hint at things and skip around. The writing leaves me wanting more. Sonia thought that this suggestion was more insightful than any of all the other times her friends were discussing her work. In fact, this made her feel that he saw her, the real her, the authentic hero. She smiled and said, I'll keep that in mind. The song concluded and they let each other go, but still held hands as they returned to their table. Sonia sat down and the man excused himself for the moment. He went to hang out with some of the other guys. However, Sonia's girlfriends all buzzed and gathered around her. What do you think? They all asked. Sonia said, Tonight is too much. Too many things all together. The friends said they understood, but they argued it was a package deal. Sonia confessed her dress-tearing moment and the discussion on the dance floor, and how he could truly see her, picking up on there's more to tell. This made Sonia's friends so happy. If this guy can see you this way, it's a winning start, isn't it? Asked one friend. The conversation continued and flowed passionately about how all these women wanted others to see them, understand them, and celebrate them, even though they might be reluctant. Sonia admitted this was the sum of her entire dilemma. You're worth it, Sonia. Give it a shot, encouraged her friend. The evening was a powerful experience for Sonia, despite its challenges. Sonia saw that she could be her own enemy if she resisted the joy of receiving true honor from others, whether it's from strangers or her close friends. The battle for her soul was about her worthiness. Sonia kept fighting her talents and methods of expression because they allowed others to recognize her. She asked herself, do I or don't I? Yet the gentleness of her blind date created in her heart a revolution of identity. The men returned to the table with the blind date leading the way. The music picked up to a more party, high-energy piece, and they all invited the women to the floor. Sonia smiled, and something shifted in her body and agreed to join them. The ballroom thumped with the beat of splendid music, and the party climaxed with an incredible dancing experience. Sonia unleashed her soul, and her body followed as she and her friend tore up the dance floor. It was a night that Sonia never forgot. Inceptio.
Wow. that was just awesome.
Oh, good.
That was
Why?
just I willed up for a couple of times because it's just I know it's not fiction, but it's just analogies and parables and just images, and but it has a very distinct thread to them, the thread of truth, and very accurate in a lot of things. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I'm actually working on my first book.
You are?
Yes, and there's a lot more that I can share with you later.
Okay,
But
that's fine.
it's yeah, but it's the battle in her soul is for her worthiness, and that's just so beautiful. I think that women or everybody struggles with identity
Yes.
and am I enough, and sometimes relationships can affect that,
Mm-hmm.
and it just the dance or the interactions with the date that you know it was just so beautiful that he saw her, it was just lovely, very very beautiful, very healing too.
Oh,
But
good.
I know there's a lot to unpack
Yes, well,
there.
let's get started. So obviously, only unpack the things that you feel safe and comfortable sharing, okay? But
Hmm.
that's our goal, is to find out what are the hidden treasures in your story. So why don't you tell me?
Well, I have a lot of ideas when it comes to writing,
Hmm.
and I always pray that it will come out right, but I do hide and hint to things because it will just, if I start talking about it, it turns into another book. If that makes sense,
Mm.
it's just all different things. But anyways, uh, yeah, it's just a lot to unpack. That's all I have to
Okay.
say.
Is there anything specific that we can talk about right now?
Yes, well, I think the relationship aspect of being seen when it
Hmm.
comes in the family,
Hmm.
you can be in a family and not always being seen. You may feel
Hmm.
invisible.
Invisible,
And
right.
that affects your self-esteem and your
Mm.
sense of value and
Hmm.
not wanting to be seen. And it requires courage to own your assignment, to
Hmm.
own it when you're
Yeah.
walking with the Lord. You have to pay the price. And part of the price, I believe, is allow yourself to be seen. But when there has been a lot of heartache in your
Yes.
journey, it is difficult to see because you are unpacking and you are just unpacking uh, who the Lord originally created you to be,
Hmm.
but you were gaslighted by the enemy of our souls. And I think everybody gets gaslighted by the enemy of our souls, but
Hmm.
I think it's very relevant. That's why we want to hide.
Yeah.
I have a ministry. It's called Mended and Whole. About we're mended and whole at the same time
Hmm.
because God is a spirit and so are we. So but it's all about relationships and understanding like generational freedom
Mm.
and toxic relationships, which can happen at work, with your neighbor, your friends. It can be a partner, a spouse. It can be immediate family, even parents. So I think that the Lord has given me like a mandate to talk about those things, and it is difficult sometimes. Like when you were saying about you hinted to certain things, but Jesus was very blunt. I'm asking for the grace how to package everything, so I can be honoring to the Lord.
Yeah.
But few people or a lot of people that have been through a lot of trauma or through a lot of a difficult journey, they're very misunderstood because nobody's bringing the language to that.
Mm.
And so, anyways, I think that in the story that you share with me,
Hmm.
there was a lot of different pieces that I saw that are pointing to that thoughts and the intentions of my heart. So that was just really lovely. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. And so this is definitely, this story is like a mirror for you, correct?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes. About
Wow.
trust and relationships and being seen. And
Hmm.
I mean, there's a reason in that story why she didn't feel worthy and that
Mm.
she didn't trust. It was always looking, is he really seeing me or he's just saying that or different things. And it's just amazing. The Lord has absolutely called me to mend the brokenhearted, and in order for us to do that, we need to walk it out
Yes.
and be able to speak to it out of a place of authority and grace,
Hmm.
and not just head knowledge. And the Lord has been telling me, speak of what you know, speak of what you know, and what you know. It can be head knowledge, but it has to be experiential knowledge, especially. And that's what gives you the authority and the spirit to speak to those things and break off, be the
Mm.
cycle breaker in your family, and set others free. So,
I like
anyways,
it.
thank you.
Yeah, you're using your tragedies and troubles to help others triumph.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Well, it is God's design.
Hmm.
He said, do not despise where you have been, what you have been through. It is
Mm.
what is the authority to speak to those things. And it's
Okay.
so true.
Wow. Good. So, can you point out certain specific things in the story, in addition to what you've already said? Any symbols, ideas, any clues, things that we can thread a new line in? Any thoughts on that?
Well, she didn't want to be seen, and
Yes.
she said she was having difficulty, being her authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, a lot of people are comfortable, hiding because it's the familiar. Sometimes we hide for different reasons because you are forced to be small in like family dynamics, or your own reasons. And whatever the reason is, the Lord wants us to be authentic, if we're going to walk with Him and for Him, and do what He's calling us to do. And it's not easy sometimes because there's a lot of hard work that needs to be done, but it is so freeing once it gets done. So I like it when he said that she ran to the restroom, and she was just very self-aware of her circumstances, but people didn't perceive her the way she perceived herself.
Yes.
There was a discrepancy there, and I
Yes.
believe that's true sometimes because I
Okay.
do have a lot of spiritual gifts
Mm-hmm.
and things that the Lord has gifted me with, that He said you don't have to apologize because they're a gift from me to you. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we just don't want to, I don't know, like put them on display, So
I understand.
yeah.
Let me ask you a couple questions about some specific things in the story. So, one is the title and the location. It's the ballroom, right? It's a big party. The other thing
Yes.
is the dress. One is you tore the dress, and it made your thigh a little bit more exposed, and you're an attractive woman, and the guy's like, hey. And then the zipper was stuck. So something about clothing here. I know that in dream language, clothing can represent parts of a man or woman's identity. It's one way of unpacking it, but it was torn and it was snapped and there was a loop that ripped. So those are some very specific images in the story. So would you mind, do those images of the dress mean anything to you, and also the location of the story?
I don't have any insights into that specifically, but today, let me
Yes.
tell you that today I was talking to the Lord about I do have some clothes
Uh-huh.
that are in my closet that is not me anymore.
Okay.
It just the season is over, and it's just not me, and it just needed to go. And but it has to do with clothing, and he
Mm-hmm.
was reminding me about the robe of righteousness and
Mm-hmm.
how like clothing and what we wear speaks as to who we are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just interesting that it is part of the word, and the story.
Okay. Yeah, to me, your identity had been damaged. There was a tear. There's a wounding of some kind, a separation, or parting ways of the fabric. That to me, there's something there. What about the location? Like, it's so funny because um, you were set up in this story. You were supposed to go to a party for a blind date, and then they surprised your character with it's your book being released. So they kind of they piled on everything, and then it's a ballroom. It's a place of celebration, right? And so do you have any resignation in your heart about that, the place of celebration or the location?
Well, I have a Bible verse that the
Mm-hmm.
Lord gave me. I was in a marriage for a long time, and
Mm-hmm.
we just had to part ways. That's probably about the
Oh, the
and
dress. Yes.
the dress, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of dishonor and a lot of betrayal.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord gave me Isaiah 61 verse 7. It talks about that, that He's gonna give me honor, double honor for the shame, and double
Mm.
prosperity in the land, and everlasting joy. That has been such an amazing,
Wow.
beautiful Bible verse. It's Isaiah 61 7, and I think
Okay.
everybody should adopt that Bible verse. Is so
Yes.
beautiful because we all are exposed. Just trying to own your assignment can bring shame, and people
Mm-hmm.
not believing in what you carry or what the Lord is
Mm-hmm.
calling you to. do, but the Lord, obedience is important, and he would always, he's such a righteous judge,
Mm-hmm.
he wants to give double honor for for that instance of shame,
Yes.
or discrediting or betrayal or whatever.
Right.
He just so honoring, he's just amazing, he's all about
Right.
honor.
Did you feel stuck in your identity? That zipper was stuck. I could see it when I was writing, and like, did that feel true to
It's
you?
he Even heart healing is not a destination, it's an ongoing process,
Mm-hmm.
as we continue to grow and be one with him. But yes, I have felt stuck even with this with the book. It like,
Mm-hmm.
it's been so, the Lord, he's been telling me for years to do it, and I just decided in the last 2 weeks. I actually joined a group, and I'm in the process. I'm Yeah. So
Right.
I probably gonna have two books. I'm gonna have my own book, and I was invited to another, be put a chapter in a different book. So
Wow.
I'm looking forward to. So yeah, that's coming up in the next 6 months. So it is.
See the thing.
I've been praying. I've been
Oh my
asking the
God.
Lord to give me the language to make this just right. And because I tend to be a perfectionist, like, how is this gonna come about? But he like, just speak of what you know. I said, but sometimes it's so dark and so ugly. I said, but some people need to hear the
Right.
bad and the ugly, because nobody understands them, but they will know that you understand them.
Right.
So
Right.
he called me to a very specific group of people,
Amen. Well,
and
remember, I said at the beginning of the show before I brought you on, I don't know you until tonight. I did not interview. I have I ever talked to you before? Have you shared information?
never, no.
I did not go on internet looking for you. And so I had this story where your book's going to be released. And you're telling me you've got a book or two that is going to happen. Beautiful. So here's the thing. For me, I think that God is he's transforming your identity and celebrating you. Because the whole ballroom setting is all about celebration, even though of all your insecurities. What do you
It's
think?
about being seen. He puts you on
Yes.
display. He
Yeah.
puts you on display, and I always go after the one. I always go after the one, and he's going after me.
Amen. Yes. And so like, how else is this story hitting you in the heart? Tell me
It
more.
well, it's just a lot to unpack, and I think I probably need
Okay.
to read it again.
Okay.
I read it again, yeah. Read it. I mean, read the transcript,
Yeah.
and I can send you an email if you want a testimony or whatever. I'll be
Okay.
happy to.
Thank
So,
you. That's beautiful. Uh, in the story, you're surrounded by good friends who are supporting you, like especially the girls, right? Um, do you in real life have a good support system of relationships? Is that available to you?
I have about two or three good friends,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't live in the state where I am.
Okay.
I mean, they're closer to me than blood. Isn't
Yes.
that just beautiful? That God has sent me at least a couple of. I have three friends, but two very good and very close. So
Mm-hmm. Good. Well, have them watch this show for sure, and then tell them if they feel up to it. Get a story. but
okay,
yeah, but
I
yeah.
will.
Well, now uh, the blind date. I want to be very honorable to you.
Mhm.
I understand that there's been a change in your status of relationship, but I believe that that man in the I would like to frame him as Jesus for you.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
That's what I've been thinking all along.
Yeah.
He sees me. Yes.
Yes. And so he's a gentleman in this story, isn't he? And I love that about the character. Um, but one thing is, what is he doing? He's always inviting you. So we've been unpacking this some, looking for interpretation. We can still do that interpretation, but application. What is God inviting you into? What do you think? What's the Lord inviting you into? This relationship of the blind date. He's ushering you in. He's waiting on you. He saw your beauty and he saw your soul, and then he invited you to dance. You rejected him several times, but then in the end, you found that joy, right? So let me ask you this: if you're willing to share, of course, but what is he inviting you into as part of the application of this story?
Well, I think he wants me to be my authentic self
Okay.
and just don't hide anymore. Um, when when you mentioned something about he read the book and that he saw that I would start talking about something and then just don't really go there, just hint to it. He
Yes,
was like,
yes.
I wanted more because I was holding back a lot of what I really wanted to say. And I
Right.
think he's just coaching me and just mentoring me, which is the way that I have prayed. That I ask him to father me, to coach me, to mentor
Mm,
me, to tutor me, to
yes.
prune me,
Yes.
do it all. I want to be fully surrendered,
Oh, that's
and
good.
yeah.
Let
So
me let me piggyback off of that. So
yes.
there's a saying you may have seen in the other broadcasts that I love to do on the show. It's called permission granted. Okay? I give you, Sonia, permission granted to live life to the fullest, to the extent of what's bound and legal in the kingdom, where you can be unleashed in your joy. I give you permission granted to write your books and successfully complete the projects. I give you permission granted to be living a life free of shame and fear, to be unhindered in the liberty of what it means to be a daughter of God. See, the thing is, sometimes Christians are like, okay, God, I have this thing, but I'm waiting for you to say when. And God's like, I've given it to you. See, the satanic church, the number one verse, I guess, in the satanic church is like the golden verse: do whatever you want. But God gives you desires that He put in His from His heart into your heart, and we need to be not passive about it. We need to walk it out. We're not
Hmm.
being rebellious. We're not being presumptuous, or we're gonna walk it out. So it takes courage to live that life of, of liberty. So you're co-authoring your story with him. You're co-laboring, co-creating, and you're doing it with him. And so those are his desires that he gave you. Sonia, you have permission granted to act on those desires. I want to encourage you to go for it, write those books, and partner with Jesus and take risks. Do it. Go for it because he's giving you that ability, and I think that you have a story to tell is what the phrase is. And so you have treasure. I mentioned in the opening about the shadows. There's the shadow of death, the shadow of God, but then there's Peter's shadow. And I want to highlight Peter's shadow. Peter's shadow brought healing miraculously to the people his shadow was cast upon. There's
Hmm.
golden treasure inside Peter, an anointing, an experience of Jesus that his expression cast on people and it brought healing. Sonia, you have your own shadow. There's gold inside of you. There's tears that have been shed that have paid the price to have the authority and the experiences of healing, so that golden treasure is ready to go. All you need to do is lay your shadow out over, just walking by, and see the healing happen because you have a shadow as well. You have treasure in you that's worth being invested in.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. I receive it.
Good, good, good. Yeah, and that's the thing is like this story here is a shadow. Remember, it's a shadowed story. It's your shadow. This is
Mhm.
something that God created for you in the library of heaven. And so when you look at it later tonight or tomorrow, you're going to see a lot more coming to clarity for you. And then the thing is, remember, it's always taking action. What are you going to do? So obviously you had said about uh, being allowing yourself to be seen, right? So in a practical way, physically, what would you do that would be an expression of that choice? How would you
Um,
make an announcement or how would you shine? What would that look like in a practical way?
um, do more uncomfortable things, but
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Okay.
things that I, yeah.
Well, I want to help you, and I know it's stretching you right now, isn't it? It's stretching
Yes,
time.
it
It's very difficult. I think that vulnerability with the right people is a beginning place, and then writing your book is another one where you can put your heart on the page, and then don't be afraid of public speaking or being in a small group or meeting with like-minded women who may have their own difficulties and being vulnerable with them. You don't have to be on television, big lights and stuff. But I think the challenge for you is like, what are you going to do that allows your vulnerability uh, to bring healing to others, right? Does that make
is. Yeah.
sense? That's
Hmm.
good. That's good. Good. Well, uh, is there anything else that comes to mind that you'd like to talk about your story?
No, I need to read it and go back because I
Yes,
feel like I share all I have
that's
right
fine.
now.
That's fine. I figured that was where we are in the conversation. Very good. Well, so Sonia, I have a couple questions for you. If you were to show up to somebody who has never heard about prophetic story before, and what would you tell them what it is, and would that be something that you would want to encourage them to get for themselves?
I um I would I think sometimes people may be curious, but if people know about the prophetic and the
Mm-hmm.
voice of God, they're more inclined, to say yes. But I think everybody should get one. They just it's like the breath of God is encouraging and is
Yes.
affirming and validating. And there's just some things that are like a little mystery.
Mm-hmm.
There's a mystery there, and it's just something to be unpacked with the one.
Yes. Very good. Very good. Well, I'd like to talk to the audience right now. So, for those of you who have seen tonight's show so far and are really excited about what God blessed Sonia with the prophetic story from here at Legends of the Wind, if you want to receive for free a prophetic story from me from our ministry. We are a prophetic ministry that celebrates the creative arts, and we are in this season of doing this for free, sowing into people and blessing people big time. My wife is an illustrator. She's designed our website, which you're about to see in a moment. And so she does prophetic art and painting. And so what I do with prophetic story is it's a creative work of art. And so in this season, we are doing this to bless people at no cost to you. So if you're interested in learning more about us, I'm going to show you our website real quick. So Sonia, hold on.
Okay.
All right, so this is our website, legendsofthewind.com. And this is a painting from Alicia. And here you can find more about us. And if you see this button here called Request Your Prophetic Story, it's going to take you to this page. And here's where you can register. On the left here is the Dollhouse video with Abby. This is a episode that we did some time ago, and it's so incredibly powerful. We highlighted it on our website because it was so Abby was such a wreck by God's love in this whole experience. So you can check it out there. And here you can register and choose a date to show up on our podcast. The ones who are doing it for free, we just ask that you appear on our show. If you notice here at the middle part, it says add to your prophetic story. This is something that is unique about what we offer here. So you can actually ask ahead of time or later afterward. You can have Alicia, my wife, create a custom book illustration based on your legend. And we have that here in our store. And if you are interested in what we're doing and want to have a book cover for a keepsake, put in the comments below request, and we'll email you a discount code. So in this product here is our book, Legends of the Wind. So Alicia did the design of this cover, and she did other people's covers as well. And every story is different, every person's different, and there's different styles and different feelings, and it's all unique. And the thing is, you can have these stories be memorable. It's something you can tangibly hold and have in your possession. There's other information in there as well, where you can write journaling and things like that. So at our main page, you can also find more about us here. Do you want to receive a story from heaven and find out what tale you're in? Check out the video, How to Receive Prophetic Stories. So we have all sorts of great content on our YouTube channel. All right? So thanks. So check us out and enjoy getting a prophetic story. Sonia, thank you for being such a great guest tonight.
Thank you. Well, thanks for having me.
Right, thank you. And so, was this a blessing to you?
It sure was. It has exceeded my expectations. Not that I had low expectations at all. I was excited with the sense of adventure, but it really touched me. I almost started crying the first couple of minutes. So I was strong and not start getting weepy.
Oh, thank you very much. Now, before we go, like I said, and thank you for your response. It's beautiful and touching. We're a nonprofit ministry, and if you believe in what we're doing, if you see that we have something to offer to the kingdom, something of value, would you consider sowing into our ministry? For the next 1 minute or so, I'm going to show you our giving page. Also, in the description below, there's an opportunity and a link to give as well. But feel free to give. We are so thankful. We're building what we're doing here, and we're seeing God bless us. So check us out real quick. Everyone, thank you so much for participating in tonight's show, for watching on the live or watching the replay. Thank you very much for giving and sowing into us. Sonia, I'm so pleased to see that Jesus gave you a rockin' story. blessed you and encouraged you. I'm excited to see what the outcome of this will be for you, where with your book or your two books, and the transformation that your story talks about, and the healing of your identity. This is so good. So thank you so much for being part of this. Thank you for asking for a story.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, everyone, thank you. Have a good night, Sonia. Don't hang up. And we'll see you on the next show. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.